Hello there traders, this is Chris from Elite Currency with a new update on the euro dollar and of course pound dollar. Alright, this is the euro dollar 4-hour chart and we're getting a little bit of a consolidation zone in between this 114.50 and 115. But ultimately I still think it's looking like a wave 4. I do believe I mentioned that on the video during the weekend. So from this perspective it looks like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and down we go for 5. The main target is not too far though. If you look at the daily chart, then it could be a bouncing spot around 114, maybe even 114.25, 40. Could be a level to think about, because if you put a fib from here to here, all right, then that's approximately where that 78.6 fib is. All right, and that could still be, oh, there we go. That could still be an important level to think about, 114.10 to be precise. So that kind of fib could stop price and make an expanded correction. This could be W, this could be X, and then up it goes for a Y, or if this is a W and this is an X, but this is an A, B, C within X, and then we get a Y, that could happen with an expanded corrections. Price could go sideways for quite a while. But if price does break below the 78.6 fib and does break below the previous bottom, then a full-fledged downtrend could be going on, and there could be a total kind of shift in the patterns that we expect. All right, for the moment, as I already explained in the weekend video, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're expecting a kind of larger correction. This being the first part, and this being a second part, and then a third part, and this could be then a wave A, and this is a wave B. But if price breaks below the 78.6 fib, and specifically below this bottom, then the wave B could be finished here at the previous high, and price could be in a downtrend and continue with that wave C, or perhaps even a wave 3, but in any case, some bearish momentum is expected to the downside. So now you can see why 114 is important, why 113 is important. In the meantime, there's plenty of space, or some space at least, to fall from here down to 114, right? But those levels are key, and it depends on how price will respond to 114 and 113. Whether I think price is going to be in a downtrend or still in a correction. We had this head and shoulders level, of course, to be aware of, but price is really trying to break through it as we speak. Looking at these bearish daily candles, you see 2 candle closes already below that head and shoulders level, and 2 candle closes below the 61.8 fib. So I think that a bearish breakout is becoming increasingly likely for a continuation lower, at least to that 78.6 fib, and I think that this head and shoulders level has, from this perspective, been broken. All right, other than that, I think that, there's nothing much to add. I think that for the moment, price is respecting the 21 EMA zone on the 4-hour chart. So on an hourly chart, you can see that price is below the long-term moving average. That price just recently made a breakout here. So be aware that if it does bounce to the upside here like that, it could just be an expanded correction, and it could just be expanded wave 4 with this being A, B, C like this, and I would still expect to bounce around 115.20, 115.50, by the way. But of course, if it breaks below this bottom, then we should see the follow through to about, 114 probably. Let's take a look at the whiz levels. There we go, and you can see that the 4th whiz level is pretty close, so that gives you a rough idea that there's not a lot of space to the downside at this point when you get a breakout. But specifically, if it manages to push through the 4th, then we might see way more space down to the 5th whiz level and the 113 round level. And of course, if it breaks below that, then we might see even a bigger acceleration down to the 6th whiz level around 110.60. That's where, of course, more space, better trading, more impulse is expected. If we do get a bounce here, once again, I think that this entire zone could be resistance at around 115. 25, their previous bottoms, previous tops, 21 EMA, 3rd whiz level. Plenty of reasons there for a bounce and still one more lower low for the moment. But if it breaks above that, if it breaks above maybe 115.50, yes, then there could be a bigger bullish breakout taking place. Price is then breaking above this resistance trend line clearly. And if there's a flag, then we would expect a continuation higher. And in that case, that could be, the wave A could be finished here, and this could be part of the wave B most likely, and could take price back to, for instance, 117.30, this left shoulder head, right shoulder level for a bounce back down again. Alrighty, time for the pound versus the US dollar, and so far I think that this is looking like a wave 2 right here with an ABC pattern in it. And if we put a fib on the potential wave 1 from here to here, you can see that indeed price bounced at the expected 50-61.8 Fibonacci resistance zone. Even the 78.6 fib is very likely with the wave 2 because wave 2s are typically deep as a correction. So what could happen? Is this indeed a wave 1, 2? Well, the confirmation would be if price breaks through this bottom. Let me correct the fib just a tad there. If it breaks through 129.20, then indeed this is probably starting to look like a wave 3 or maybe a wave C, but bearishness is expected when we break through that bottom. Of course, if it breaks above this top at around 133, 132.98 to be precise, then it is not a wave 1, 2 anymore. Of course, that would invalidate, a break above that would invalidate the potential wave 1, 2 that we're speaking about. So those are two key levels. Now anything in between could occur and could not really confirm or invalidate this particular wave pattern. What could happen is that price makes an ABC, an ABC, an ABC like this to make an expanded WXY correction within a basically wave 2, right? So price might go sideways for a while and it would not invalidate wave 1 or 2 necessarily. You know, that could happen. We got to be aware of that. So the key levels, keep an eye on this, and of course the pattern that I mentioned, and keep an eye on the 61 and 78.6 fib too, I think, because wave 2s are typically deep. Even the 88.6 fib, those are also pretty strong resistance levels to be aware of. Now let's take a look at a bit bigger context here. So far we're looking at a wave 4 with an ABC in it, right there. And that this could be the start of a wave 5 with a wave 1, 2 within that wave 5. And of course, if price breaks below the 21 EMA zone on the daily chart again, that could confirm the wave 3 of 5. So that's what we're looking for. But the wave 4 could become expanded. So with an ABC like this, we might see another ABC like that and another ABC like that to expand the wave 4 into the future and make it a bigger consolidation zone. So that's very possible, and that's part of the risk that could, or that's the risk of a wave 4 is just that it is pretty nasty sometimes in the patterns it makes. So that's something that remains to be seen. That's why when I say if we get a breakout here, you know, be careful. It doesn't have to be a wave 3 necessarily. It could be a wave C, and it can go to these targets and then bounce up again. Ultimately, if it breaks below this bottom, then it is starting to look more like a wave 3 of a wave 5, and more downside is then expected, and a full downtrend should be taking place. All right. Whereas otherwise, if it bounces at these levels, as I said, be aware of the expanded wave 4. Last but not least, on the hourly chart, we're probably looking at these two trend lines as the main character or feature, I should say, of this chart. A break to the upside could indicate an expanded wave 2. A break to the downside could start that downtrend, or of course be part of an ABC correction like this. In any case, a move down to the S2, I think, is pretty likely in that case if we get a break to the downside. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us. Of course, happy to be here with you. Take a look at EliteCurrency.com for more free analysis and updates on a intraday, multiple times per day basis. Wish you all good trading. Talk to you soon. Cheers.